Welcome back to Shinobi Striker. Season 10 is still going strong as today we got a new character, Naruto. Yep, I know, it's another Naruto. Sage Mode is probably my favorite form of the character though, so I'll give them a pass this time. I know, I'm very biased. But we're getting more than this DLC thanks to the 8th anniversary for the game. They finally delivered on their promise of custom lobbies. Kind of. So you know how you could take your whole party into the survival exam practice? Well, now you can do that, but you can turn off the bots. And you can also split your party into 2 different teams or have 4 players in a free-for-all. So you can do custom 1v1s, 2v2s, or anywhere from 1 to 4 player free-for-alls. Running events for this game has actually just become a lot easier. I'm really hoping to see some tournaments out there because I personally am already exposing some frauds. But let's dive into Sage Mode Naruto, talk about his jutsu, but now without first going over his unlockables. That is everything you unlock after training with this master besides his jutsu. Sage Naruto brings one new outfit, it's the classic Naruto but with the Hokage cloak, and he also brings an accessory which is Naruto's wallet. I don't think they look great together, but hey, that's for you to make it work. He also brings 2 new hairstyles, and here I felt a bit cheated, not gonna lie, because they are the Naruto and Minato hairs without the headband, so it feels recycled. I know the hair isn't exactly the same, it's not just about removing the headband, there are some differences, but because it is so similar, I don't feel like I actually got new hair options by buying this DLC. And just like all the recent DLC, he also comes with his own fighting style. If you equip the Naruto scroll style, you'll have the same moveset as the master himself, which is very flashy, uses a lot of shadow clones, and many Rasengan finishers. And with that out of the way, let's get to the good stuff. First jutsu, Frog Kumite. Press and hold the button to lunge and release it just at the right time to unleash an explosive impact. This is basically a big punch with an air wave behind it. The range isn't incredible though, so you should think of this mostly as a melee ability, especially because if you are in melee range when you let go, this move gains a follow-up where shadow clones throw a Rasengan. That's when this move actually deals good damage, and that is why you should hold the button to lunge until you are in that range. And the lunge itself is really good. You kinda have to get a feel for the range, it doesn't go forever, but it has a nice reach if you hold down the button the whole way. The tracking is really good, the speed is decent, you can use this to chase opponents for sure. But in my opinion, this move has a couple of downsides. One is if your target is in the middle of a group of enemies, like here I'm going for the healer, and my clone follow-up actually did not target them, so it does not go to the enemy you're locked onto. I believe they just attack whoever got hit first, which was someone else on the team. So if you're using this on a group, it can feel a bit random. And second, I think it's just a boring jutsu in my opinion. I don't think it's bad, it's just boring because it's a lunge and a punch. That's what I do when I press the square button. So sure, this has a much bigger reward than just pressing square, but it's lacking in that creativity that I like to see in Shinobi Striker. Luckily, the second jutsu made me much happier. Nature, Energy, Concentration. Channels Sage Chakra, putting the user into Sage Mode. This is a very unique jutsu, but it shouldn't be hard to understand. It's just very different. First of all, it doesn't have a cooldown. You can charge this jutsu anytime you want. If you charge it the whole way, you enter Sage Mode. This enhances your physical abilities and gives you armor on most of your attacks, like your other jutsu or your weapon moves. So if you thought attack type weapons were broken before, wait until they are attacking while armored because of Sage Mode. It is crazy. You also don't have to charge it all in one go. As long as you don't take too long, you can do it in multiple takes. And if you're already in Sage Mode, you can extend it by charging again. Unfortunately, this charge is not armored, so you really gotta find the space to do it. But that means you can literally keep this active the entire match if you have good resource management. And as a final bonus, Shadow Clones will also throw kunai whenever you use your ninja tool if Sage Mode is active. So if you're running kunai yourself, you're gonna get a kunai every time you throw. But if you're running something with a longer animation like Spitfire, they'll keep throwing kunai during the whole thing. If you want to eat some ramen, they'll act as your bodyguards. They're not very good bodyguards though. It's worth noting that Sage Mode does not give you armor while using ninja tools, as you just saw. The armor seems to only apply to your weapon and your jutsu, but that's precisely why I like this so much. First of all, it's true to the show. The downside of Sage Mode is that you have to sit perfectly still to absorb that Sage Chakra. But at the same time, it's a jutsu that buffs every other jutsu in the game. You can go down the list of attack type jutsu and just think, what about that one, but with armor? That's the possibility it opens. And when you marry Naruto lore with in-game innovation like this, I think that's when you've done a great job as a developer. So I really applaud their creativity here. That said, we haven't even talked about the best thing in his kit yet. His ultimate is the Tailed Beast state, where you transform into the Nine Tails and go on an absolute rampage. First of all, you fully heal when you transform, and then you have a completely new moveset, including new Jutsu. That said, you are completely armored while in this state, even when sitting still. There are still many abilities that can break armor. Most unblockable jutsu will work, you know, the usual counters. But being permanently armored will make you absolutely unstoppable, because the melee attacks are really powerful in this state. They track the opponent from really far away with incredible speed. You can chase down people very easily. And on top of that, your first jutsu pounces at the opponent from a decent range, acting as a combo starter or a combo ender. The second jutsu shoots out projectiles as long as you hold down the button, but you gotta aim them manually, and without a reticle it can be quite tough, but still satisfying when you do land it. Finally, this state also has an ultimate. If you hit the button again before it runs out, you will shoot a tail beast bomb that grows over time after you shoot it, and it deals a ton of damage. It's very hard to completely dodge this, even if you see it coming, because the projectile is very fast. And when the state ends, you just return to normal. You don't get any debuffs, so it is a crazy good ultimate. On top of all this, it also has unique charging properties, as the ultimate gauge will charge a lot when you or your allies are knocked out. And after you activate it, you can extend its duration by knocking out opponents. And let me tell you, in the survival exam, you can really clean up with this jutsu, since everyone is fighting in a space that is way too small to outrun this beast. Thanks to your tracking and the first jutsu, stealing kills is very easy to do, and as long as you get that final hit, it keeps extending your ultimate. Just make sure you keep an eye on it, because before you run out, you want to hit that button to throw the tail beast bomb. It is almost a guaranteed kill. This jutsu has no flaws. It feels powerful, it's fun to use, and once again they gave it something unique because of how it works in the show. Naruto seeing his friends get taken down is what made him lose control, so that is what charges up the ultimate gauge. And going on a killing spree would only make him forsake his human side faster, giving more and more control to the beast within, and that is why defeating enemies extends that state for you. So I have to give this ultimate the perfect score. Here's the ninja card for Sage Naruto. That ultimate is an S rank if I've ever seen one. The first jutsu, I think it's okay, and the second jutsu, it's very good, because while I appreciate the creativity and the lore accuracy, at the end of the day, you just sit down and charge, so I can't go too crazy with his score. And of course, he also brings his own fighting style, so when you buy the DLC, you are technically also getting a unique weapon for your character. But more than Sage Naruto, I'm really excited to see some crazy 1v1s and 2v2s in the new custom survival lobbies. Not the full custom lobbies that we thought we were getting, but honestly, you can make a competitive scene with these tools now very easily. Not having to snipe each other by queuing at the same time immediately levels up this whole scene. There is no way to spectate matches, but you know, you can screen share on PlayStation or on Discord. With how long we've been waiting for this, I kind of fear that it's too late, to be honest. I don't know who's gonna pick this up. I don't have time to host the tournament before you guys start asking, but I would be really excited to watch and react to some matches for sure if someone out there is gonna do it. But that's gonna do it for today's review. As always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you next time. Bye.